The end of summer is rapidly approaching, and I have gone ahead and decided I am going to say goodbye to the summer AquaPots and hello to the fall AquaPots. Join me as I show you how I created these gorgeous self-watering container planters. Stay tuned. Hey friends, welcome to Gardening with Creekside. I am Jenny, and today we are back here at the pergola with these massive, gorgeous AquaPots. If you will remember, back in the spring, we planted these for our spring-summer display here at Creekside Nursery. And end of summer has come upon us, and we are ready to move into more of a fallish planting. So Jerry and I have already emptied the AquaPots with that vertigo grass and the diamond mountain euphorbia, sweet potato vine, and the supertunia vistas. As you can see, that vertigo grass was absolutely insane. It is by far one of the most vigorous annual grasses that Proven Winners has. Vertigo is gorgeous. It's that deep purple color with those nice wide blades, but it can get 4 to 8 feet tall easily. And then when you put it in a self-watering container, it is just an absolute heaven. You could clearly see how massive that root system was, took over the whole entire bottom of the AquaPot. Now, you might be thinking, Jenny, that's an AquaPot self-watering container, but those plants looked awful and they were so dry. What did you do? Or do these pots not work? No, the pots work great. I intentionally let them run dry because I knew we were going to be pulling out that summer planting and putting in the new fall planting, and I needed it to be as light as possible. Of course, wet dirt weighs a whole lot more than dry dirt, so I have intentionally not watered these AquaPots probably for the last 3 weeks. So the dirt was nice and dry, and they came out as easy as they possibly could. Now, what are we going to do for the fall? Before I even get too far into what we're going to be planting in this AquaPot, I am going to go ahead and say we are in North Carolina. We are a zone 7B. Our winters the last 2 years have been very mild. However, we can have some really cold snaps during wintertime. A couple of years ago, we had a week of like 10-degree nights, and it was extremely cold. I am not going to risk my AquaPots cracking if we have an extreme cold snap. So probably end of November, going into December, around that time, based on the weather, we will empty these AquaPots once again for the whole duration of the winter. Completely empty them and then turn them upside down here at the pergola. I don't mind that these planters will be empty. We don't have a massive amount of traffic here at the nursery in wintertime. Winter is a time of rest for me. It is a time of rest in the garden, and so these containers will get a rest also. So just know that this is going to be a temporary planting in these AquaPots. We're going to plant a tree and 3 shrubs in the AquaPot. Now, as the annuals, they're done, we're tossing them, they're gonna go in the compost pile, end of story. These guys, obviously, we are not gonna toss these when we are finished with them. So we'll recycle them and put them back in the landscape somewhere else. Beside me, this is an absolutely gorgeous emerald green spiral. So it is an emerald green arborvitae tree that has been pruned and shaped into the spiral form. This is going to be our main centerpiece of the AquaPot. Then I am going to surround it with 2 loroptealums. This sweet little thing right here is Jazz Hands Mini from Proven Winners. This is perhaps one of the absolute most petite loroptealums that there is on the market. She is only going to get about 1 foot tall, but she's going to get 3 feet wide. So you can already tell with her habit that she has kind of that spilling effect. So she is going to be my spiller in this container. We're actually going to do 2 of them, and they will be flanking the emerald green arborvitae on each side. Then for the center, we are going to do, and this is a fun little wink and nod nudge to fall, because if you're familiar with this, this is a spirea. Spireas are gorgeous. They do beautiful spring flowers. But you know what the name of this is? It's candy corn. So, how appropriate that we're going to put candy corn into the fall container. Now, candy corn gets its name because it has really kind of three colors to it. That great chartreuse lime green, then the tips will be almost have a red hue to them. They will have that great little orange tip, just like the candy corn that we either love or hate. It's so funny to talk to people. They either love candy corn, like the candy, or they hate it. Now, everybody loves this candy corn spirea. So, what we're gonna do is go ahead and get her planted. Jerry and I, when we cleaned out the AquaPots, this is gonna be fun because you're gonna see me wrestle this tree. Hopefully, she'll come out. So this is in, just so you know, this is a 7-gallon container. So we get it from a great wholesale supplier, and I might actually have to have Jerry come help me get out of the pot. Maybe. We'll see. We'll see how root bound she is. Oh, she's not bad. All right. So, she is in. Now we just got to get her straight. There we go. We're getting there. Does that look straight? Got to check her. Ooh, I did a good job. All right, so I'm going to kind of zhuzh up the root ball system here just a little bit. Give me some more room because all of my shrubs, I'm putting 3 shrubs in here, and they are all 3 gallons. We have filled the AquaPot back with brand new soil. It's very important. I preach this all the time to y'all. When you are putting in a new container, do not recycle your soil. You want to empty your pot completely and start with brand new soil, because we didn't have an option on these AquaPots, but because the vertigo grass took all the soil. But what you want to do is always have new soil. We're going to squeeze. Oh, wasn't enough dirt there. So this is the dance you do with the pot. Do I have too much soil? Not enough. You want your plants, whether they're going to be annuals, perennials, or you're actually putting in shrubs, you want them to be right below the lip of the container. So that way, when it rains or you water it, if it's not a self-watering container, the water doesn't overflow. So we got 1 in. Now I'm going to need some more soil here. When you're doing your pots, you always want to fill in any little gaps around your root balls. Again, whether they're annuals, perennials, shrubs, you don't want any holes in around your roots, because the roots need the soil for the water and the nutrition. So get her in here just right. Work the root ball a little bit. Whew. The roots are nice and well formed at the bottom. I just have loose soil on the top. So we're going to knock that back into the aqua pot here. Get everybody zhuzhed in here. Trying to get the root balls to play nicely with one another. Wow, Jenny makes a mess. Because you know, it's not gardening until you make a mess and get dirty. All right, so candy corn. It's gonna go in, make some room for the root ball. Okay, so let's see what this root ball looks like. We're getting there. And you don't have to be too delicate with your, I mean, you know, you don't want to go in there and destroy them. But plants are pretty tough. So you can manhandle them a little bit. All right. You take a look at it. All right, so what I'm gonna do is, because I know I've got some holes in here, I'm gonna fill in my holes around the root balls with some good soil so they have lots of good soil around them to soak up food and water. Not bad. I'm very happy with that. Now, I know this is a completely different planting than what I normally do, because normally, you know, it's all about flowers and flower power and all of that. But this is a great example of how you can use a container. There's not one flower on here. If you were to leave it year round, late spring, the loroptealums would put on hot pink blooms. So would the candy corn spirea. But that's all right. You do not have to have flowers in order to have a gorgeous container. So I am very happy with this. We're gonna go ahead and get the other one planted, and then we'll get everybody watered in. They're all planted. So both AquaPots are planted with their new fall shrubs and trees. So we're gonna get them watered in. Obviously, watering is a very important job, plays an important role. So we're gonna get these watered in from the top down first. Then we will fill it up from the reservoir. Okay, so you notice that I watered from the top down on these AquaPots. That is a lot of dry soil that is in there. So you really need to get that nice and saturated so that the whole wicking system with the self-watering container part works, and that these poor shrubs don't fry in the heat of this very end of August. So when Jack Barnwell was designing the AquaPots, He was quite genius because the little water spout is the exact same diameter as your hose. So the hose fits perfectly down into the water spout. So what we're gonna do is just stick this in the water spout. We're gonna fill it up until water squirts out the little overflow hole in the back. Obviously these are massive aqua pots, so it's gonna take a couple of minutes to fill this bad boy up. Both aqua pots are fully watered, so now we just have to sit back and enjoy the beauty. You will notice probably when I was planting these plants, I did not add any kind of fertilizer to the soil. There's two reasons for that mainly. One, these are trees and shrubs. They are not going to be enormous feeders. They are not like your annuals where they need lots of food to sustain themselves. Perennials, trees, shrubs really can only just go once a year and get fertilized in the spring, so that's one reason why I didn't fertilize them. Two, we use that Espoma potting soil, and it is chocked full of all sorts of wonderful nutrients, so they will get some food from that great potting soil. Again, this is not a long-term planting for me. This is going to last maybe at the absolute max 3 months, and I'm pushing it then because of the cold weather. So that is why I did not fertilize these. If you did an arrangement like this in a container that was going to stay year-round, you could use a great slow-release fertilizer like Plant Tone once a year on them to feed them, and that would suffice perfectly. But everybody's watered in, new home, they look great. The new fresh entrance here to the pergola at Creekside Nursery. I'm very happy with these. I hope this has been fun, entertaining, giving you some ideas to think outside the box of when you are creating containers. You don't always have to use just flowers. Please make sure that you like this video, and if you enjoy gardening with Creekside, we would love to have you join our family, so just go ahead and subscribe, and we will see y'all next time. Y'all have a fantastic day. Bye, friends.